This is the MotorCity Crowns Podcast, where passion reigns and excellence is crowned. Welcome back to the MotorCity Crowns Podcast. Today, we have a special guest. His name is Demaciiio. He's an artist from Southwest Detroit. He does murals, does music. He's a big community advocate, and just want to welcome him today. Demaciiio, welcome. Thank you for coming on the show today. You know, I've met you a few times. I bought some shirts, some art from you, and I check out all the new music that you drop. You continue to impress me with collaborations with local artists like Flacco Suave, Be Free, and Boldy James. And even a painting of Smokey Robinson that was on display at the Detroit Grand Prix. Yeah. I think that's pretty cool.
Good looks.
So I brought you on the podcast because I feel like you're making a difference with your art, your music, and your murals with such passion. And I want to take a moment to give you your flowers and let you know that you have truly earned your crown, Demaciiio.
So, appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. I think a lot of times I was just so work focused that, you know what I'm saying, like I take my accolades and I just keep it pushing. But I appreciate the words for real.
Absolutely, absolutely. Could you talk about your background a little bit?
Yeah. From Southwest Detroit. I'm Mexican, Puerto Rican. My father's Puerto Rican, my mother's Mexican. Both of my families moved up here in like the 60s, 70s for work, to work with, you know what I'm saying, the motor companies. And I feel like sometimes like being Puerto Rican and Mexican is like the epitome of Southwest Detroit, you know what I'm saying? Because like it's a cultural mosh pit, you feel me? So
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I feel like I was hungry for success, and I guess on my terms of success means just being able to produce as much art and uh brain boosting I'll say brain boosting philosophical pieces, you know, in a sense. So
yeah,
my background, man, I came up doing graffiti as a kid, and then from that I grew into doing community murals, and then that unfolded into doing murals with big corporations like Ford and Pistons, you know, NBA and stuff like that. And with the music, I just always been around hip hop. It's just like second nature almost. It's really just the most natural thing for me. And my grandfathers were both in bands, so I grew up going watching them play salsa, cumbia, merengue, all that, you know. And that just transcended inside of me to me recognizing my own light and being able to produce as much as I can, and knowing that everybody can do this, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like I take it to extreme to make it known that like this is what I want to do with my life, you know. So
yeah, that's great. So with your background, you said you're Mexican and Puerto Rican. Has that been a big influence on your work?
Yeah, I feel like maybe it's a giant influence. It's who I am, you know, at the end of the day. From the art to the music to the community, you know, I think the Latino community is a strong community here in Southwest. And a lot of people that I know from the community were deeply rooted in it. So I think that has played a lot. It's molded me. My connections within the community have brought me a long way on my journey. So, yeah.
How do you think those roots show up in your music and your art?
Man, I feel like it's the total, I would say like maybe vulnerability and the I think a big part of my artwork is the curation of events. So, like growing up to going to these concerts where you see everybody pop out, dancing, having fun, I think plays a big part into how I think about my art because I know down the line I want to produce a celebration where everybody could come out, and even if it's connected to my art or not, you know what I mean? So I just think it's just such a like deep part of me that um I don't know. That's a good question, but I feel like it shows with my maybe my ferocity as well. You know, when I'm on stage, not holding nothing back. Sometimes I feel like the stage is almost like a ceremony or a ritual in a
Yeah.
sense where, I really get into it. So, you know, stuff like that I feel like peeks through in my art. But too, like growing up in Detroit. Yeah, I'm Latino, but I didn't grow up really speaking Spanish. I grew up more in like the hood, so I think
Mhm.
all of that plays a part where I'm able to mix all of that in together and really develop and show who I am.
What role does community play in your art? Is it
Man,
important
I
to
think I think
continue
it's
to
maybe
integrate that community?
say it again.
Is it important to integrate like community into how you do your art?
Yeah, I think that's how I perceive all of my art is and it doesn't have to be necessarily the Southwest community. Like I've done shows all over the world and it's just making a community with every environment maybe and just
Yes.
really the connectivity of it all and just bringing people together plays such a big part. A lot of my paintings are done in the public. I don't have my own studio. I have a basement, but it's not big enough to hold. I got big paintings.
Yeah.
So a lot of my paintings are done in the public, and I feel like that's because I believe in energies and being able to almost follow the energy of the room and the energy of the people, and being able to have them be a part of every piece, even if I'm on stage. Like if you've been to my shows, you know how live it gets. It's because
Yeah.
I'm making sure that we are all in simultaneously flowing in this energy.
Talk to me about when did art, whether it's the music aspect or the visual aspect, when did that become more than just a hobby to you?
Um, I feel like maybe it's always been like this. I kind of always knew that I was going to be an artist, like maybe like professionally, because I just saw the traditional routes that everybody around me took, which is, some go to school, a lot go to the factory, and a lot, get sidetracked by the streets. So I seen art as an outlet because the expression, and I think at a young age I realized that there's no right or wrong when I do art. It's all subjective, it's all how you perceive it. And I think my art is fire, so I always knew like as long as I am able to figure out a way to monetize it, that I'm always gonna be good. And from a young age I was always out hustling, cutting lawns, you know what I mean? Um, snow, plowing snow for people. So I always had like this fire and this hustle inside of me, and I just learned how to combine that with my expression and my art. And from there, I learned how to grow and just take that and be able to monetize off that.
Right. So I want to go back and touch on the painting mural that you did for Smokey Robinson that was on display at the Detroit Grand Prix. How did
Yeah.
that come about?
All right. So I'm on this. DACC has like the small business thread where they send a whole bunch of emails and saying it's just like newsletters and stuff. And somewhere in that email, I found another email that was like this like marketing team. So I was like, man, I'm just gonna send them an email, and then I saw that they're connected with the Grand Prix. So I sent them an email probably like 6 months beforehand. Sent them all my work. Never got a response or nothing. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, I swung away. That's all that matters.
Right.
And then probably like 2 months beforehand, I get another email back because originally I throw the show called the Nonstop Show. So my original idea was to throw the Nonstop Show at the Grand Prix and just to have them integrate the local artists and local scene. I feel like we're still building on that for the next year. But and that was my original idea, but I sent them all everything else I do, and they just love my paintings and stuff. So I was like, well, let's build on something, whatever, you know. There was really no like financial compensation, but I understand the power of investments and just doing the work first and letting everything follow.
Right.
So I understood that. And this is before they told me Smokey Robinson or anything was going to be involved. They're like, well, we were looking to do a mural. There's not really a budget, but you know what I'm saying? Can you make it? Can you just work with us and we could do something down the line? I'm like, of course, like it's a big platform. Um, and I feel like, like I said, the work speaks for itself. So it just started to come about. I started sending them ideas and stuff, and they liked it, and they liked it. And they're like, well, we need to do something with Smokey Robinson. We might as well tie him in. I'm like, of course, let's tie him in, and through that, I started working with Smokey's team, and then also Sirius XM was a part of that project. So I got to work with them, bounce ideas back and forth with them, and I brought in my boy Ivory Design. My boy Eddie, he's from Southwest. He builds websites and stuff, real good. He's really good at vectorizing and making sure everything looks clean. So I needed him to vectorize the pieces because I do a lot of work on my iPad, which is my digital work, my digital paintings, but I'm not able to vectorize and really get as deep as I can be with the illustration, like on Illustrator and Adobe. So brought him in on it so he could help, and we just able to make a design that worked for all of us. And it was just a great moment meeting Smokey Robinson. What I'm saying, is a great achievement. And then being able to do that off of my artwork, like it's just a great feeling.
That's pretty cool. So you actually had to do it there, right? Because that's such a large piece that's on a wall, correct?
Yeah, no, actually, that was we printed that out in pieces.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. All right.
yeah. So yeah, we printed it out and we just had to figure out how to make it the right dimensions and stuff so we could do
Okay.
it.
So it was much smaller when you made it.
Yeah, the original was much
Okay.
smaller, but then working with Eddie and learning how to upscale it and make it bigger and make it crisp, that's like was a
It was
great
pretty detailed. It was a pretty well done piece. I liked
thing.
it a lot.
And then even moving forward, like that having that under my belt now, I can work with a company that does billboards and be like, okay, I have some knowledge of this, like how
Yeah,
can we
you
make
can go
something?
ahead and probably
Yeah,
get some jobs off of that.
yeah, and that's the thing about playing into it and seeing it as an investment. Like,
Mhm.
uh, I always have a saying like the money gonna come. Like that's what I'm saying. I don't doubt that at all. But while I'm here and while I'm like fully functional, I might as well give it my all.
Yep. So you've worked on several collaboration projects. What type of collaborations have been the most challenging? Is it music or is it visual art?
I feel like music could be the most challenging at sometimes, especially working with a lot of people, a lot of ideas, everybody wants to be heard. Um, with art, it's kind of more freeing because I can paint over something if, what I mean, we don't like it or something like that. So,
Right.
uh, yeah, sometimes music could be the most challenging because it's like there's certain ideas that might not work, or it might be certain ideas that are too far off, and just learning how to bring it all under one umbrella so it flows seamlessly. But yeah, it's not too challenging though.
You talked a little bit earlier about you like to do some of your artwork outside in a public space. What is uh, what is the most fulfilling part about being able to do your work in a public space and have people see it while either you're doing it or the finished result?
Yeah, for me, it's the vulnerability. I think people need to see me openly make mistakes and correct them. And it's not even on a sense of people need to see it, like for myself too.
Yeah.
I talk a lot about this in other interviews that I grew up boxing and stuff. So boxing is real like in life, real time chess, and you're gonna make mistakes and you need to correct them fast. So that's why I think how I look at the painting is almost like fighting or dancing, publicly.
Right. Did you watch any of that fight last night?
Yeah, man. Hey, long live Mike Tyson.
Heck yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'll shout out to, I guess, bro got a big bag and stuff, but uh I think Jake needs to fight somebody who's really a
Actually,
boxer
his
his
age.
age,
Yeah.
I
Apparently, he
think
called out Canelo. I don't know if that's gonna happen.
yeah, well, Canelo need to get in there and teach him something.
He's a
Yeah.
little bit past his prime too, but he's still pretty damn good.
No, Canelo piece that my son.
So you've been involved in organizing social change through your art. Can you talk about a specific project or moment that has you felt has made a real impact on you or the community?
Hmm. Um, maybe I think there's this piece where it's one of my first pieces I ever done, and it's on Junction. And one of the main images is a Native American face within the leaves. And I feel like that piece, when I show it to anybody, they're like, "Oh yeah, I've seen that," And I think it's so powerful because it's just one acknowledges the land we're on, and two brings up the conversation of why would you paint that, or why would you do that? And for me, it's always to make sure that we're acknowledging like the history of where we're at.
Yeah.
I think predating the French, all that is just knowing that at one point this was somebody's this was sacred. So that type of social change, I feel like I'm always pushing towards like showing imagery of resilience in my paintings just as a way of saying the togetherness and making sure that we're pushing forward and collectively being strategic.
Yes, I agree with that. You seem to have like blurred the lines and blend different styles and genres. How do you describe your overall artistic identity?
Uh, my overall artistic identity, I would say, man, it's tiger style. It's very, like it could be aggressive, it could be camouflaged, um, it could be sharp and on point, or what I'm saying, it could just be swinging away. So I feel like I was really such a free form style. I would say that there's not no one particular way to describe it.
And you like to paint tigers quite a lot. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it's pretty cool, and that shows uh your style.
yeah. I feel like it's my I don't know. I think it's just something about the tire that resonates with me, and again, like my my spirit, in the sense of just going for it. And always too, like I feel like I'm a deep thinker. So just being able to watch and observe and see when to strike and when not to, I think plays a big part into why I paint tigers.
All right, all right. You were saying earlier how when you perform, you're giving it your all, and a lot of your music has that raw emotional energy, and you seem to stay true to yourself by performing that way, by making music that way. And I can see how so many people have gravitated to your style and your art. How does that make you feel that you can be vulnerable in that sense and that fans relate to your art and your music?
Yeah. It makes me feel great to be honest. It gives me a sense of purpose, I feel. And then too, like I always just want to convey to like the people who follow me or like people who like my stuff is that to become your best. I think that's what I'm working on right now is well, every day we're all working on constantly striving for to be the best of ourselves. And that's the main message that I want to get across. And I feel like it's well reciprocated with the people who follow me, who like my music, who see me, who just see me once and understand. And you can just see me on stage and know, like, even if you like my music or not, I'm still going to do it to the best of my ability.
Right.
And I feel like uh, being welcomed in that sense is like is the greatest feeling.
For someone who's starting to explore their form of art and expression, what advice would you give to them based on your own journey?
Just to every day swing away. Feel like the more you do it, the better you're gonna be. It took me a long time to figure out what my style is, and I'm still figuring out really what my style is. The only thing that we can do is do it. And like even right now, before you call me, I'm jotting ideas on my on Logic, just recording me mumbling into the microphone to figure out which way I want to go about a song. So I think the best way is just to do it. I love like there's a saying like I'll fuck it up and I'll fix it later. You know, like down the line I'll fine tune it, but right now I need to get the source material down, and then I can start chipping away at it and creating a masterpiece.
Right, right. You got to get that first bit out
Yeah,
and build upon it. How does the process of creating a mural compare to producing a song?
I think it's about the same. I A mural is a lot more. Okay, okay. My bad. Let's get to wifey. Come on. A mural is a lot more. There's a lot more other people that are orientated with the project, so it's a lot of ideas I have to bounce back and forth. Where most of the time a song is me putting down whatever I feel and whatever I think sounds cool. Yeah, a lot of the music, whether you like it or not, I'm gonna do it. So with the murals though, it's sometimes it's a lot of we're working with other people and building with their ideas. And if we all like this, compared to the music, if I just like it.
Right. Is there different ways or similarities even how you approach producing a song or creating a mural?
Yeah, with the murals, a lot of times, I mean, especially like today's day and age, I'll I'll use AI and just re get ideas using ChatGPT and throw them on a sketch them all together and see what works, what doesn't, and then from there break it down. And with the music, it's a lot more me seeing what vocal tones I like and vocal inflections and what words sound the best way. And so just yeah, going around the process like I feel like they're both random until they start coming together, but it's just using different tools, I feel like.
Right, right. What role does experimenting come in when it comes to making music or making your art? Like, are you trying new techniques? Are you trying to um, do like a different genre when you create music?
Yeah, man, I just love experimenting. I don't like well not I do like routines in a sense, but I just love staying on my toes,
Mm.
and when creating. So yeah, experimenting plays a big part, and that's even why like I got into like using AI and just experimenting with that, and having that be a tool as well, even for my music. Sometimes when I'm thinking of words and stuff, I'm typing in the AI that what does this mean and what's other ways I could go about this, and just figuring out ways to use all that I can. And sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's very minimalistic, but I think experimenting, especially if you heard my music and you see my art, like my stuff is very experimental, is different. So I think it's a big part of my creative journey.
Mhm. You, like you said, you've been all over the world. You've performed all over the world, meeting new people and hearing new music. What parts of these experiences do you hold on to the most?
Mm. Definitely the connecting with the people and realizing that we're all the same, just in different areas of the world, especially building with other like disciplined creatives. We're all over the world, and art, yes, is good to look at, is good to have in your space, or it's even good to have playing around. But ultimately, I look at it as a tool to connect with people from every background. So I think that's what like the biggest thing I always take away is that what brings us all together and what connects us is the art, is the saying the spiritual aspect of it, that our will to create and to become.
Yes. You're very fortunate to be able to travel the world and see so many different people, so many beautiful venues and all that.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I'm definitely, man. And I, saying like I give it all back to like just the me having the willingness to do it, and I feel like um growing this confidence to become an artist, because like I said, there is no right or wrong. It's just how you step, and I feel like I've grown into knowing that whatever I do is right. Whatever, I say it could be wrong too in a sense, but it feels right, and I don't put no label on it, and I step behind it confidently, that is going to grow, and then that's going to be able to take me to different places. And like I said, art is a tool. It can be seen as a portal. A lot of times I'm creating stuff and I'm like, oh, this is going to be fire. I can't wait to perform this in Germany. You know,
Right.
and law of attraction, I end up in Germany, saying, performing the song that I created. And, so it's just, man, I just feel like um, it's even on a metaphysical level, like just the act of doing it is so magnetic that it's able to create new experiences for myself. And in turn, I'm able to bring that back to where I'm from so people can internalize that. And who knows how that ripples within their own journey.
Right.
A lot of people I ball with here in the hood, um, they see me do all this and they were like, "Man, I lived through you," and I feel like that's so heavy for me because for me, I'm just creating. But
Mhm.
for those people that are in my neighborhood that probably, to be honest, say never could see themselves doing any more than what they do already. Like that's in turn like one of the heaviest thing, and I feel like also why I move with such responsibility with my art, because I know it's not just me creating. Like this is for all of us. So with that said, I have to move with intent, and saying having an open minded for it all.
Right. And I think that's very important, and I think it's a good way to look at things. Looking back on your career, is there any moments that stand out as like significant in shaping who you are as an artist today?
Yeah. Man, that's a great question. I think working with I started in a group called Awkward Theory
Hmm.
very long time ago. It was me, Gabriel Duran, and Suppy Never Really Dies. He used to go by Supreme Flows. Such a like eye-opening aspect because we made music and people loved it. And we were just young kids, and that just bred so much confidence within us. Um, I grew up in a space called a 5E Gallery. 5E Gallery was located at one point on Michigan near in Corktown, and I used to go there after school. But that showed me the fundamentals of hip hop, and not only the fundamentals, but the importance of community in hip hop. And I think that shows today with my nonstop shows that I'm a part of, because the biggest aspect of the nonstop show is the open cipher. Anybody who comes to the event can grab the microphone and rap when we're doing the cipher. And that's because I feel like hip hop is such an egotistical, has become such an egotistical art form, that the vulnerability of freestyle cipher is so important in building community. Um, my first tour was with Michael Reyes. He runs We Are Culture Creators. He was doing poetry at the time. We went to almost every college from everywhere, and that showed me a lot about just having that hustle of sleeping in cars, waking up, doing a show, meeting with people, building with them, then getting back in the car and driving somewhere else to do another show. Uh, that down the line, I had toured with Royce the 5'9" and DJ Premier, and
Oh,
I
wow.
was ready for that because I done slept in a car for months on end, and doing that just showed me being able to tour Royce the 5'9" and DJ Premier at a young age showed me, oh yeah, I'm cold. You know what I'm saying? I could do this. I don't have to think about do people accept or do people embrace this or anything like no, I'm fire. I know I'm fire, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just let it out, just shine. And then evolving into putting together my own Europe tours. Uh, a lot of my tours, I'm hitting people up on Instagram and just saying, I'm gonna be here at this date. Let's do a show. And I'm doing that 5 months out. And so when the day comes, I'm there. We're doing this show, and all I did was connect with people through the art using the tools at hand, which is social media. So,
Is it people that you have actually had conversations with before you even connect with them, saying, "Hey, I'm going to be there," or is it like, "I'm going
I
to be
mean,
there. I like your music. Let's do something."
yeah, I mean, it's both. It's people that I have built relationships with, but the first time, I've had very few relationships, but people open me with welcome arms, and I think it's because too the the intent that is it felt within my art. Like people feel that I don't the stuff I talk about is not, what I'm saying, throwing money, bitches shaking ass. You feel me? It's maybe it's down the line, it's in there somewhere, but what I'm saying, for the most part, man, I'm talking about my experience.
It's
I'm
real
talking
stuff.
about how we become better. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to build with y'all to figure out how we could become business partners in a sense, you know what I'm saying, to make something that who knows can blow up and help us financially. I'm on that mindset, and people feel that with my art, with my music. So there, it's a little bit more ease for them to, all right, let's work, let's build. You know what I'm saying? Compared to me being like, yeah, I shoot motherfuckers, and you know what I'm saying, I just smoke
Right.
dope type shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm from that, but that's not who I am, and that's not who I want to portray at the end of the day as well. So
Absolutely.
yeah, all of that to say, man, like all of those experiences helped me so much to where I am today. I think I'm real big on just listening and observing everything and applying it. So you know what I'm saying, the good and the bad, learning what to do, what not to do, even if it pertains to me or not. Nipsey Hussle always talking about how he would eavesdrop on people and just, you know what I'm saying, just listen and kick game like that. I feel like I'm very much like that because I just take in all of the information I can and, you know what I'm saying, go through the data and use what I can.
Yeah, that's good. So let's bring it back to more local here in Detroit.
Yeah,
How does Detroit as a city influence your art?
man. The people here, bro, are so, you know what I'm saying, so warm, so big hearted, I think too, like just growing up like right before the bankruptcy where it got hard, you know what I'm saying? And like Michigan Avenue now is like a lot of businesses. Growing up, it was not that many businesses and it was graffiti everywhere. It's a little bit more rough. That shaped me. Um, growing up in the hood and dealing with all that comes with growing up in that shapes you, in a sense to learn how to just stay on your toes, stay on your pivot, learn where not to go, what to do. Uh, you know what I'm saying? I think all that plays into it. But I think most importantly too, like Southwest Detroit, the community, the hip hop community in Detroit alone, East Side, West Side, North End, all that, man, is such a strong family that embraced me at a young age. So, and molded me and really put me on the steps where I'm at to now, where I could go around the world and be like, yeah, I know this and this and this from when I was a kid, and people fuck with me just off the strength of them. So,
Right. So before we wrap up, we're going to do something called One More Crown.
but that's
So
fine.
I'm gonna let you. I know it's a little bit on the spot, but I'm gonna ask you, who would you like to see on the show that you feel has earned their crown, whether it be in music, art, could be anything that you feel like from here, from Detroit or from the surrounding areas that has made a difference and shown the passion that they put into their work. Is there anybody specific that might come to mind?
You had Freddie, right, already on her?
Yeah,
Yeah, all right. My other two brothers I work with that are part of the nonstop movement. One is Loke. Loke is an incredible, smart individual when it comes to tech savviness and just collecting data. He works for Crowd Freak, and we work together on Backwoods and Bonfires. He also works with me on the freestyle cipher. He's an incredible freestyle artist and really good hip hop and just real good business mind. Me and him build a lot. He's one of the partners with the nonstop movement. And then my other partner is West Palm Rich. He's from Florida, but he's been living in Detroit for a long time. We know I know him through our mutual friend that passed away called his name was Dope Dilla. And just them having being able to like just build with me. Both of them have incredible drive. We threw a South by Southwest show where we were able to raise 3,500 in sponsorships and pay artists to fly down there. So I think all of us just being young entrepreneurs like push each other. So I definitely like to see Loke. His Instagram is at freeloke, LOKE_. And then my boy West Palm Rich, his Instagram is at real West Palm. So
definitely check them out.
yeah, man, they got great music, great vibes, and they hungry just as I am.
Well, you guys heard it here first. West Palm Rich and who was the other guy? I'm sorry.
Low.
Loke. I, they both have earned their crowns, and hopefully, maybe I can get in touch with them and get them on the show. If not,
Yes, sir.
you guys need to go check them out.
Yes, sir.
So the individual I want to bring up, he's not in the music industry. He's actually in the food industry. His
Mm,
name is Freddie Bello. He
mm,
owns a pizza shop over in Melvindale. It's called Freddie the Pizza Man. And he not just makes amazing food, amazing pizza and goulash, calzones, whatever he has that he serves hundreds of people a day. He has really good food. So go check it out if you have a chance. But he brings autism awareness and he has a foundation where he donates not just money, but resources to schools for sensory um, rooms. And he's been doing it for many years now and raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I wanted to shout out Freddie Bello. I actually got to interview him last year, and unfortunately, the recording didn't come out very well. He was one of my first interviews. So yeah, hopefully he gets to hear this, and hopefully the rest of the people that are watching and listening that will check out not just to grab some good food, but maybe donate towards this foundation towards autism awareness.
yeah. No, you gotta have it back on.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely plan to. So, Demaciiio, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. I truly appreciate it, and I enjoy this conversation. Would you maybe tell the folks how they can get a hold of you and find you on social media?
Yeah. You can find me on everything at DEMACIII and a O. And that's on every platform: YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Instagram, Facebook. It's the same on everything. And you go to my website as well, www.demaciiio.com. And yeah, just stay in tune. I throw a nonstop show every month. Make sure you pop out. It's great vibes, it's great energy, but most importantly, it's great community. And just keep on building. Anybody who sees this message, become the best you can be. Don't never stop striving for greatness and lead by example.
Absolutely. Now, do you have any upcoming events? I know
Yeah,
you just dropped an album, correct?
yeah, yeah. And we just did the last nonstop show like a week ago, and that boy is packed. So the next one is December 21st. I also have a solo gallery, November 30th. And then I'm about to do a college tour in January. And then I got a Mexico City show in February. And then I got South by Southwest in March. And you know what I'm saying? It just keep on going. So I got a lot. Just I say tap in with me on any platform and just uh yeah, just keep on watching. We go crazy.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for coming on. Everyone, I'm your host, Robert Solano Sanchez. Don't forget to shop small, support local artists, and check out Demaciio's work, his new album, and maybe check him out at one of his shows, upcoming shows.
Yeah, and shout out Robert, you know what I'm saying? Make sure if you see this, make sure you go follow bro and make sure you spread his podcast, spread the awareness, you know, and help him grow.
Thank you so much.
You already know.
This is the MotorCity Crowns Podcast, where passion reigns and excellence is crowned.
Ooh, that's smooth.
Thank you, man. Take it easy.
Yeah.